Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome and thank you for joining. Carl Anthony, and this is AutoVision News live at AutoSens and InCabin 2024. We are set up in the heart of the Motor City, downtown Detroit at the Huntington Place. Joining us now is Wade Appelman, Chief Business Officer at Owl Autonomous Imaging. Wade has held leadership roles in both private and public sector organizations and has led sales and marketing efforts for 5 venture-backed startups with a total exit valuation of $900 million. Wade also helped launch to market several companies, including Sensel, which was acquired by onsemi in May of 2018, and Sensel was a leader in single photon detection used in LiDAR and medical imaging. He also launched an agricultural robotics company, Harvest Automation, an early user of LiDAR technology. Wade, good to see you again. Welcome back.
It's a pleasure, Carl. Thanks for having me. I feel like I'm a regular on your AutoVision News channel here.
You are a regular, and to welcome you back, let's start with the NHTSA and the finalized AEB ruling that happened in late April. What are the implications here? What are we talking about for the automotive industry?
This is a massive piece of news, what happened here. The NHTSA had been put out a notice for proposed rulemaking almost a year ago. Back in the summer when they closed the notice for proposed rulemaking, which was all about pedestrian safety at night, they had something like 2,000 comments that were trying to influence the regulation. When this regulation came out at the end of April, I think it really put a lot of people on their back foot in the OEM industry, in the tier 1s, tier 2 suppliers. And what I mean by back foot is I think they were really excited. Some were a little disappointed, frankly, because there was a lot of lobbying about what does this mandate mean and how will they have to change their strategy around sensors in order to achieve the mandate. So this mandate is really critical because by September of 2029, every vehicle sold in the United States has to be able to pass this series of tests, and they're really hard tests.
One of those considerations was performance at night, AEB performance at night. So this goes right into your territory with Owl AI's night vision solution. So Wade, first question, how does it work? And maybe further to that, how is it different from other safety sensor solutions?
Sure. So for those that are watching this that don't know what Owl Autonomous Imaging is, we are a thermal sensing company. So unlike other sensors like radar or LiDAR or visible light cameras, which have to have outside illumination, if you will. Thermal vision runs on radiated energy. We don't need any illumination. The scene can be completely dark. We also are not affected by bright light. We use the temperature, if you will. And that's a different whole physics property. Thermal vision runs at 8 micron to 14 micron in the IR spectrum compared to LiDAR at 950 nanometers to 1550 nanometers. So it's a very different modality. Tying it back to the NHTSA regulation, what the NHTSA ruling says is that one of the tests are that a vehicle has to stop safely to see a pedestrian when there's only 0.2 lux of light, which is really almost less than moonlight. So it's really dark scenario. And the car has to be tested at running up to 45 miles an hour and then safely apply the brakes. What that really means is it's beyond the throw of the headlights. So you think about a regular visible light camera, if it's outside of you can't see if it's outside of the headlight. So what our solution is going to be able to do is stop safely for pedestrians at night. But because of this wavelength that operates at, it can also see through fog, it can see through rain, it can see in incoming bright lights. So it really changes the factors of how these sensors will be used in automotive, and we think it's a massive change.
Right. Wade, after that excellent overview there of everything, of your solution, the NHTSA ruling, taking those two things together in tandem, what is the next step then for Owl AI with regard to this NHTSA ruling we've been talking about?
So the industry is really starting to is trying to digest. Does the current sensor suite do it, and can they pass it? Nobody wants to spend money in the OEM industry on a vehicle sensing suite if they don't have to. So the question is, can the current RGB cameras do it? Can the current radar systems do it? Does LiDAR have a place in the market? Or do you need a new sensing modality, which is a form of a camera, high thermal? So I think what the next steps are over the next 12 months, Carl, is the industry is going to do a lot of testing. If you're in the testing market, you're going to be doing a lot of tests, answering those questions. You're going to put out these tests that NHTSA has mandated and see, hey, does my current sensor work? We don't think it will, but I think this time next year we're going to see a lot of reports that confirm it or doesn't confirm it. And so our job over the next 12 months is to really work on those type of tests.
Of course. Wade, we've been talking about the United States, but what about the rest of the world? How does up when we're talking about maybe vision safety regulations and mandates? How does it look elsewhere in the world? What's that landscape?
Oftentimes there's one country federal regulation system that takes lead, and others either adopt that exact same standard or frankly push it a little bit further.
Sure.
Euro NCAP frankly was a little bit more difficult than some of the US standards were for a bunch of years.
Yeah.
This NHTSA ruling is actually harder than some of the Euro NCAP requirements, and you're going to see Euro NCAP start to adopt more complex requirements than this. So although the NHTSA ruling for pedestrian safety is only 45 miles an hour and some of the tests are straight on, you're going to start to see tests where they add curves to it. They make the vehicle go faster. The current NHTSA ruling, for instance, doesn't do anything more than nighttime testing. You're going to see some other countries, I believe, add fog, add rain to the tests. And you're seeing the same thing in Japan. They have their own standards body. They're working on updates as well. And China has, again, very much adopted and embraced pedestrian safety as rules. And their safety standards are also going to be becoming only more complex, not easier.
Right. Well, and we don't always drive cars when it's nice and sunny out. We drive cars when it's night, when it's fog, when it's rain. So this only makes sense.
I was laughing at, even here at the show, people will show their videos, their promo videos. And Jeep had a really fun one today of Derek Jeter. I know you're a baseball fan.
Yeah.
So Derek Jeter getting off his private plane and safely not hitting an animal in the road and going and seeing his wife. And I was laughing to myself because it was a beautiful sunny day. Anybody could see a dog walking across the street or something on a beautiful sunny day. It would have been more impressive if it was rainy, snowy, but Derek Jeter probably doesn't go out in the rain. So that's why they didn't film it that way.
Wade, with this NHTSA ruling, it will be interesting to have this discussion, you and I, a year from now. Like you said, there's going to be this season of testing. Things are going to shake out. We're going to see what works, what doesn't. So I think it'll be great to have this conversation a year from now.
I think so. And Carl, you and I think first met probably 7, 8 years, 9, 10 years ago.
It was.
And I remember having conversations with you then about LiDAR. Will LiDAR take off? Will LiDAR be an important modality? Is there even going to be a market for that? And look at where we are today. It's $1 billion market.
Right.
Almost everybody is using it. I think I will almost guarantee you, we'll make a bet that in 5 years that thermal will be everywhere. And you can invite me back and we'll do this again.
It will. Yes, absolutely, Wade. From all of us here at AutoVision News and Sense Media, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your expertise. Have a great rest of the show. Safe travels back home. And again, we'll get something on the calendar in the future.
Sounds good.
More to come from AutoSens and InCabin USA 2024 at the Huntington Place in downtown Detroit alongside Wade Appelman. I'm Carl Anthony, AutoVision News.